Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at possibly what is the cheapest gas sprung mounted monitor mount you can get on Amazon right now. This cost us $9.99. Was it worth it, or have I just thrown away £10? Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we'll be taking a look at a monitor mount. So this is suitable for monitors between 13 inches and 27 inches and also has both clamp and grommet mount. So those are two different things. Obviously for clamp mount would be on kind of at the edge of a desk or whatever it may be. If you use the grommet mount, that would normally involve drilling a hole in your desk or surface and then put in a grommet underneath and tighten it up. We'll show you both methods. I won't be drilling anything, but I'll show you how it all works, all that kind of stuff. We'll go through, see if this is actually worth the tenner. Now, if you want to pick up bargains like this is actually from our sister channel, Shop Smart. So if you're not already subscribed and also following on Facebook, please do so. Links will be in the video description. We get tons and tons of deals come through pretty much every single day. And also we do post some of the bargains and discounts which come from our Discord chat. So obviously you can join there as well. With that out of the way, let's take a look at this thing. So this is the BMA1201MW. Not exactly the best choice of model numbers, but what is even better is the brand name. I love the brand name on this. FITUEYES. And hopefully when it's all mounted and correctly, hopefully it will actually fit my eyes. I'm not sure whether that is supposed to be a play on words or not, but I like it nonetheless. So anyway, let's take a look and see what we actually get inside. Now I have actually opened this just to make sure it wasn't damaged, because it did get thrown around by Amazon's delivery driver. So you always got to check these things, but luckily with Amazon you get 30 days anyway, so you can send it back, all that kind of stuff. So what we greeted with, first of all, we have a instruction manual. You can see there, and goes through, gives you a complete breakdown of all the individual components and also how to do the clamp mount or the grommet mount. So that's all well and good. And it comes with a bunch of screws and stuff, so excellent stuff so far. Looking actually inside the packaging, so we've got a bunch of things here. So obviously you've got the mount itself, which is pretty lightweight. I'm not entirely sure whether it says it's gas sprung, but I don't think it is. I think it's literally just tension springs in there, but again, for a tenner, who cares? Looks pretty decent, and it looks like it's got some built-in cable management sections, so yeah, that's all well and good, but we'll take a closer look at that a little bit later. Also included, we've got some bracketry. So you've got the desk bracket for the clamp mount, and you can probably guess how this all works. So you've got screws on the side there, holes on the side, so you can just put bolts through there, and that gives you your clamping distance, etc, etc. So yeah, pretty straightforward. There's also a bunch of screws for attaching to various monitors. So you've got the MA, MB, MC, and MD. So you've got some washers and things like that in there. So yeah, handy, that's all included. And in the last bag, we've got more of our bracketry. So this is the section which attaches to the bottom of the monitor. You've also got the grommet mount, you've got the bolt, and also you've got some tools and some screws. So yeah, looks pretty straightforward. So I think the best thing to do now is to get it all put together and see how easy and how good an experience this actually is. Okay, so we've taken off the safety strap, and actually it does appear to be a gas strut. You can definitely hear it. So yeah, there's definitely some sort of resistance gas strut in there, and also you've got spring tensioners and all that kind of stuff. So looking at the actual mount itself, actually doesn't look too bad at all. We've got metal bit on the bottom here, plastic sections here and up through, and obviously this bit is going to mount to your desks in some fashion, so kind of like that. So if you were going to do it desk mounted, you literally just drill a hole in the appropriate position, put the bracketry in, and you're good to go. So actually it seems to be quite easy to use as well, so you can take all this apart to get things mounted, etc. And you've got rotation, you've got tilt, swivel, all that kind of stuff, and obviously you've got the movement on the arm. Oh, squeaky. What do you expect for 10 quid? Anyway, that's that done. So let's put the actual bracket together on the bottom. So looking at what we get included, so depending on what type of mounting you're doing, so if you're doing a grommet mount or through the desk mount, so for that you would need this bolt, this washer, and the butterfly. For the normal regular screw mount, then all you need is this plate and the 3 bolts that hold it all in together. So yeah, looks pretty straightforward. So what we're going to need to do is to attach this base plate into the bottom here. and just put some bolts through. Now again, obviously, if you're going to be doing this as the desk mount or through the desk, you get your bolts, put that through, and then attach on the bottom, so then you can screw onto it. Again, if we're doing it the other way around, then we don't really need to do that, because we can just bolt this section straight in, which I'll show you now. So with this one, literally just into there, and then put your bolts through. So then that is the clamp mount. So we're going to be doing the clamp mount, so I'm going to go ahead and get that connected up now. So to start off the clamp mount, then all we're going to do is use this bracket here, and there's 3 screws which have got a slightly larger pan head. The other 2 smaller ones are for the other part of the bracket. So go ahead, put your screws in those 3 positions and tighten them up fully. So when all the screws are done up, it should look something very similar to this. The next part of the setup is going to be down to the individual and what sort of desk kind of thickness you're using. So on the back of this one, you've got those 2 threaded holes, and you put it in front of there, so the screws go in through the back and into the holes. Now, if you've got a really super thick desk, then I would suggest using the lower 2. If you've got a regular desk like these IKEA type desks, then I would use the ones towards the front. So put the screw in and match that up with the thread on the back. And you can use the included tool again to do it all up. Just do it sort of hand tight to begin with until you get the second one in. And then when you've got them both in, then you can do them up finally. You could, if you wanted to, a little bit of super glue or some thread lock on here would be a good idea, just to stop them coming loose. That's obviously optional. So with that set up, you can give an idea of how it works. So you loosen the butterfly off, and it will give you more room in between the gap there. Again, if when you get it to the fully open position, it's still not quite big enough for your desk, then you can just move that bracket down. So in theory now, this should fit under here, I think, if I've adjusted it just about right. Oh, a little bit more. So that is essentially it. Once it's clamped on, you can just tighten that up, and then that will kind of hold itself into place and clamp on the desk. There is a foam section on the bottom there, so it's not going to damage the undersides of your desks. Obviously, don't do it up too tight if you can possibly help it. Also as well, these have actually got foam pads on as well, so again, it should protect your desk. Just don't over tighten it. If you're a little bit concerned about your desk, maybe it's a particularly delicate surface, it might be worth putting some other foam or some other kind of padding underneath there just to keep it safe and secure. So now you can get an idea of the kind of the extent of the shift. Again, that probably isn't on tight enough, so let's tighten up a little bit more. There's still a little bit of movement in there, so probably needs to tighten up a little bit more, especially the foam will actually compress itself a little bit, so just keep on tightening it a couple of turns every now and then, and it should firm up quite nicely. But yeah, seems pretty decent. Got a rather good a range of motion. I will give you some measurements as well later on to give you the full kind of depth of how far it will actually go and all that kind of stuff. Essentially, I'm replacing, or trying to replace, over on that wall there is a monitor, which you'll probably see for some B-roll, which I've already filmed. And you can see that I've got a wall bracket now. The wall bracket itself is handy and it's very strong, etc, etc, but it's not always as manageable as I'd like, and I can't always get the screen exactly where I need it to be. It is actually on a fixed axis, at least vertically anyway. I can move it around horizontally, it'll swing around, but with this I can move this up, down, left, right, etc, etc, and twist, tilt, all that kind of stuff. So this hopefully is going to make life a little bit easier when we're monitoring what we're filming, and also when we're doing live streams I can get the monitor and actually use it to read your comments, etc. So anyway, that is that part of it done. The next bit to do is to actually attach the monitor plate, which is pretty straightforward and simple to do. All we need to do is undo this screw on the top here, then that slides out, and then we can mount this to the back of the monitor. So this works for 75 and 100 in the VESA sizes. And again, this is suitable for a 13 to 27 inch monitor, which is handy because the one we've got over there is a 24 inch, so it should fit absolutely perfectly. So let's get on and do that part next. Okay, so now we're ready to actually attach the mount to the back of the monitor. So this is a 24 inch monitor, as we said before, and this is the bracket, so pretty straightforward. Just make sure that this screw hole bit is at the top, so where your monitor top bit is, and just line it up with the screws there on the back. Standard VESA mount. This is a VESA 100. If it's a 75 on a smaller monitor, then we'd use the inner set there. So next thing to do is to work out which screws you want. So I've already worked out of my selection here, I'm going to be using the MA screws. So we'll take those out of the bag now. And fortunately, they have an included screwdriver end on the end here, so That's really straightforward and simple. So just put the 4 screws through. You can if you want to. There are some washers included in there, should you wish to. It's entirely up to you. Some monitors haven't got a great deal of depth, so you can't screw the screws in particularly far. Your individual monitor will define whether you need to or not. So we'll do those up nice and tight. And actually the screwdriver head on this is pretty good. If you can with your monitor, ideally put it onto a soft or at least completely flat surface so you don't damage the screen itself. This is a slightly older monitor, so I'm not particularly concerned about the bezels, but you can obviously put down some sort of cloth or mat, or maybe even a Mike's Unboxing t-shirt available from the links below. So that is the monitor done. All we need to do now is to get our mount into its final position, and then we can attach the monitor. So now we've got the arm attached to the desk, which you can just see. And this is our top section, so it's pretty sturdy. So that's the bit we want to actually attach the monitor onto. So line those bits up, and then you can put your screw back in the top. So now, because this is quite a heavy monitor, immediately it's tried to sag down. So what we can do is we can adjust the tension here and also on the gas lift as well. So if you get your monitor into a upright position, or get it completely 90 degrees or to your particular viewing angle, and then tighten up the Allen key. You can leave it slightly loose if you want to, so you've still got a little bit of wiggle room on there. Now we can twist it, rotate it, do it 90 degrees, whatever we want to do. So the next part is to actually adjust the gas spring, which is down in this section here. So if we put the monitor down into our preferred position, it probably will stay there. So yeah, that's actually stayed there. If you wanted to, you can put the Allen key in here, and that is your adjustment for the gas. So you can tighten it up or loosen it off, depending on what you want to do. And it will make the monitor spring or stay in position. But again, luckily this is pretty heavy, so we can pretty much leave it where we want to, and it's going to stay in place. Pretty decent range of movement there as well. Very good. A little bit squeaky though. Okay, let's wrap this up. So there we go, pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do, and I think actually for the sake of £10, I think that's £10 very well spent. Even if I don't use it all the time, it's going to be really handy just to have. You never know when you're going to need to do something and you just need a monitor somewhere where it isn't currently, or you haven't got a stand. And actually, this is a good way of saving money. If you get one of these mounts, maybe just keep it in a wardrobe somewhere, or keep it in a cupboard. Quite often, if you go onto Facebook Marketplace or kind of secondhand sites, eBay, etc., you can pick up really cheap monitors because they don't have a stand or a base, because people have either taken them off, they've mounted themselves, they're keeping their gas mounts or wall mounts, and they're just swapping a monitor out, but they've discarded the actual original stand. So you can actually get a massive saving on monitors. You can pick up things like this Iliama 24-inch monitor, which normally would retail somewhere in the region of about £100, £120. You can buy them on the used market anywhere between sort of £30 and £50. So potentially there's massive savings to be had, and of course you can always haggle the prices down. And if you've got your stand there ready and waiting for the sake of a tenner, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot cheaper than buying a replacement stand anyway. And of course it gives you a lot of flexibility, quite literally, so you can move the monitor around, do what you like with it, down on the floor, up in the air, twist it around 90 degrees, have it as a have some sort of charts on there, whatever you want to do. Yeah, pretty good, and it seems pretty sturdy as well, and it seems to hold in place very well. This is actually on a pretty much a full stretch at the moment. The actual arm is pretty much as far as it'll go, and there does seem to be a particularly wide amount of movement on there. So yeah, I'm very pleased with this, very pleased indeed. It probably doesn't look particularly good on camera at the moment, but there you go. So anyway, this has been El Cheapo wall mount monitor gas lift thing. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.